What is going on, guys? You got Tone here, and I am bringing you my week 5, 6, and 7 matches of the NPO Season 2 Minors. Now, these matches are a bit late. I did play these about a week or 1 or 2 weeks ago, but never had a chance to record them. I had a pretty hectic schedule for the last couple of weeks, but now I have the time to record this stuff, so instead of just showing them out one by one because the regular season is over for the Minors, I decided to just put all 3 of the matches into one video just so I can end it on the high note here for the most part. So, this is my week 5 match. We play Hunter the Affected, coach of the Texan Trappers. Now, he had a very, very threatening team as a whole, mostly revolving around Sun, as he had stuff like Mega Charizard Y, he had Venusaur, he had Houndoom, and then he had Sticky Web with Galvantula, Utility Mons with Cobalion, Uxie, and of course he had a removal with Starmie. So I figured that the only way I can really counteract something like Sun is I had to rely on Sand. So with that being said, I felt as though this was the best team I could bring against this sort of strategy, so to speak. I know some of my movesets and whatnot weren't the best, but I felt as though it was the best at the time, so I'm not really going to complain. And I'm just going to try to finish out the regular season for the heck of it, because why not? So first off, you see no team builders for the most part because I'm already behind schedule. So just going to run down these sets real quick. Especially defensive Apowdon, Stealth Rock, Slack Off, Earthquake, Rock Tomb for the Mega Charizard Y. Also deals with Galvantula. My main response to Mega Charizard Y. Next up, Excadrill, auto attacking, set with Rapid Spin, Rock Slide, Iron Head, Earthquake with the Life Orb. Mega Pidgeot with Workup, Roost, Hurricane, and U-Turn. Jolteon with the Shed Shell, because he does have Dugtrio on the team, so just in case it gets into a situation where if he brought the Dugtrio and he traps my Jolteon, I can switch out. Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, Hidden Power Ice for the Gligar, and Signal Beam for the Uxie. 5th, we have offensive tank Kabia Berry Florges with Synthesis, Moonblast, Psychic, and Hidden Power Rock for the Mega Charizard Y. Kabia Berry, just in case he brought that Venusaur. It can live a Sludge Bomb and retaliate with the Psychic. And lastly, we have Trick Room Ranunculus with Psychic, Signal Beam, and Hidden Power Rock again for the Mega Charizard Y. So, and you see that he brings Starmie, Galvantula, Mega Charizard Y, Cobalion, Uxie, and the Gligar. Seeing the Galvantula on his team made me automatically want to lead off with my Hippowdon, as the Sand will break the potential Focus Sash on the Galvantula. I also could have set up my rocks pretty early, but he also could have left with Starmie, predicting me to lead off with my Hippo, predicting him to lead off with Galvantula, so I decided to take the risk anyway. I didn't really lose much if I led off with anything else but Hippo, so I go with my Hippowdon. He leads off with the Gligar here. Fearing the Toxic, I'm going to switch out to my Pidgeot. I should have switched out to Ranunculus, but I didn't want to reveal my sets just so early. So he switched out here into Uxie. I decided to go for a Workup here, just so I can do some little bit of extra chip damage with my Hurricane. And then he reveals that he is Scarf Uxie with Thunderbolt here as I go for my Hurricane. Now, here, a questionable play here was the fact that after this turn here, I could have did one of two things. I could have tried to preserve the Mega Pidgeot here and gone to my Jolteon because he was faster than me. He's locking the Thunderbolt, revealed he's Choice Scarf Uxie. Could have went to my Jolteon here, but at the same time, I wanted to try to get a free switch into my Excadrill and try to take advantage of the early Sand. So with that, I decided to just let my Pidgeot go down here to the next Thunderbolt here. Take some Sandstorm damage and I get into my Excadrill here. He makes a switch into his Gligar as I go for the Iron Head. Does a decent amount of damage somewhat. Can't stay in. I go out into my Florges as he gets his rocks up, which is totally fine by me. As he goes into Galvantula here, get the Moonblast off, brings him down almost to the sash, but the sand takes it out, so that's a kill for the Hippowdon. Now he goes out into his Mega Charizard Y, and here I would just try to stay in, get some damage off on the Charizard with the Hidden Power Rock here. I am a max special attack, modest Florges, like I said. And I did the calcs prior to this turn, and Florges can take one Fire Blast from a timid max special attack Charizard Y, because it does about 70 to 84%. So with that being said, I'm just gonna go for HP Rock here, and unfortunately he gets the Fire Blast off and he crits me. So that was unfortunate. I get no damage off, but I do go out into my Jolteon here. Just gonna click Thunderbolt. I had no reason not to, in the most part, because his switch to his Gligar, which I can then hit in Power Ice next turn. He goes out into the Starmie just to see what I would do. So he sacks off the Starmie here to see what I would lock myself into, and he makes a good play in Double A into the Charizard to see if I was indeed choice specs or not. So now I'm just attacking what's in front of me. I'm not making any predictions for no reason. So after that little double switch he did, go for Thunderbolt on the Cobalion here. As he goes for a close combat, I live on 6. Thank you, HP investment. And I take out the Cobalion with the next Thunderbolt here. In comes the Uxie. I know he's Scarf, I can't switch out. So he U-turns out and goes back out into his Mega Charizard Y, which allowed me to go out into my Hippowdon. Now here I could have got up my I believe I went for Stealth Rocks this turn. Yeah, I did. So I get my rocks up, and he pulls a switch out, a double into his Uxie as I go out into my Excadrill. Yep. So from here, I decided to go for another Iron Head here because I lost absolutely nothing by doing so. So 2 Iron Heads take out this Gligar, which is fine by me. So he lets the Gligar go down here. In comes the Mega Charizard Y. My sand is gone. So now I'm going to go back out into my Hippowdon here as he goes for the Fire Blast. And unfortunately for him, he missed. So it's pretty much game after that. I know I can take 1 Fire Blast. I go for the Rock Tomb, down goes Charizard Y. And the last Pokemon is his Uxie, which dies to Stealth Rock damage. So that is a 3-0 win for me. I didn't really do much predicting with the whole Jolteon exchange, and he kept doubling back and forth between the Charizard Y and the Gligar just to see what I would do and all that stuff. It would have been a lot better if he had rocks up, but if I had rocks up on his side of the field, but it did work out somewhat. Hippowdon put in a ton of work in this game, keeping the Charizard Y in check, getting up the Stealth Rocks, picking up, I believe, 3 kills in this match. So can't really complain about the result here. So with this match done, we are now, I believe, after this match, we are 2-3. Yeah, we're 2-3 after this battle. So now we're going to move on to my week 6 match. So be right back. So we are here with week 6 of the NPO Minors. This time we are up against Mew is the best coach of the Miami Heat Trans, and prepping for this team in particular was very difficult because first and foremost he has 2 Pokemon in which I am very familiar with from the NES in Mega Gardevoir plus Kyurem Black, and he also has the Terrakion, Roserade, which can Spike Sack on me. I also brought the Zoroark. I was actually expecting one of his dark types, preferably I was expecting probably Skuntank over Zoroark, but I was expecting a dark type in general, let's put it that way. Slowbro I sort of expected, simply because Slowbro does a very good job of dealing with my Excadrill, and Roserade with Spikes can really do a number on my team and pressure my Excadrill to keep hazards off the field with Rapid Spin. So the team I brought, again, very brief descriptions. Mega Pidgeot, standard, Hurricane, Heat Wave for the Klefki, which he did not end up bringing, U-Turn and Roost, especially defensive Excadrill, with Rapid Spin, Iron Head, Earthquake, and Toxic, Ranunculus, is physically defensive Rocky Helmet for the Terrakion with Recover, Side Shock, Signal Beam, and Nightshade, which I had brought specifically for the Skunk Tank, but he did not bring it. That's fine. I mean, I didn't have Signal Beam. I had Shadow Ball. Sorry, I had Shadow Ball, not Signal Beam. Next up, Volcanion, Substitute Toxic, Steam Eruption, and Fire Blast. Hippowdon is literally the Smogon mixed wall set. Designed to take 2 hybrid voices from Mega Gardevoir, Stealth Rock, Slack Off, EQ, and Whirlwind. And lastly, Choice Specs Keldeo with Scald, Hydro Pump, Sacred Sword, and Icy Wind. So looking at this team as a whole, his team actually struggles a lot with Specs Keldeo, depending. It really has to come down to what I lock myself into. Like I said before, if I lock myself in the Secret Sword, his switch-in is going to be Slowbro or the Gardevoir. If I lock myself in the Hydro Pump, his switch-in is going to be Roserade if it's at full health. But Roserade cannot switch in on a Hydro Pump because it takes about half from a Specs Keldeo, which is incredible. So I have to keep that in mind. Keeping that in mind, and that Keldeo puts in a ton of work against his team. So you have to forgive me again because these battles took place a while back, so I'm not gonna remember everything off the top of my head. So I decided here to lead off with my Keldeo because it puts in a ton of work and he leads off with his Kyurem. So I just decided to click Secret Sword right off the bat to go into his Slowbro. Still does a heck of a lot. It actually turns out to be a crit. Now I made a dumb play here to go to my Volcanion because obvious Scald is obvious, but not so obvious. I should have went to Ranunculus here because here's a Toxic. Now my Volcanion on a timer, I can't substitute. So I go for Toxic myself here. He decided to go for Slack Off. That's fine by me. But because I'm a Toxic, I can't set up a sub. I go out into my Ranunculus now as he goes out into his Roserade. As he puts me asleep with the Sleep Powder. That's fine by me. I get to burn Turn of Sleep as he goes out into a Terrakion. I make a double into my Pidgeot here. As he now makes a switch back into his Slowbro, and I go onto my Hippowdon as he knew that he saw that my Terrakion switch and was a Hippowdon, so it makes a nice double into the Slowbro here. I'm not going to stay in on a Scald, so I go out into my Ranunculus. So it takes the Scald damage, does a decent amount. It's fine by me. I believe I tried to go for a Recover here, but again, fast asleep, burn 2 turns. Go out into my Volcanion here because it wasn't doing much, but it turns out it was just Zoroark in disguise as I just decided that I believe I sack off the Volcanion here to the Night Days because it wasn't doing much in this battle. He goes with the Sludge Bomb here, predicting me to go into Keldeo, I believe. That's fine. Go out into my Keldeo now because I see Zoroark, goes to his Roserade, over Hydro Pump, that does half. Like, good lord, Keldeo, calm down. Goes on to his Keldeo here, hit another Hydro Pump. That's a 3-hit KO, but I see Leftover Recovery, so it's not a 3-hit KO. So, gotta switch out to my Ranunculus as he goes for the Substitute here. And this becomes a little bit of an issue here, but turns out he, I believe this was one of the sets he messed up on, but I do wake up and I go for the Recover here as he goes out to his Gardevoir. I go for his Side Shock. Doesn't do much, but that's fine. He Mega Evolves here, gets the Will-O-Wisp loss, so at least I can't be put to sleep anymore. I get the Shadow Ball. That's a good chunk as they go for the Wish, Shadow Ball again. And now here I make, oh, sorry about that. Here I make a prediction here as he shows he's Wish Gardevoir. So I make the prediction here of him going out into his Zoroark. So I decided now to reveal my messed up idea of Nightshade, although I kind of wish I was Signal Beam at this point, but what's done is done. So get the Nightshade off. Illusion's gone on the Zoroark, but he does get a lot of health back from the Wish. He goes to Sludge Bomb here. I think he was predicting my Keldeo one more time. I Nightshade again for God knows what reason. And now I just sack off my Ranunculus again. I don't know why I did that, but I get a free switch into my Keldeo nonetheless. Goes out into a Slowbro here. I click Hydro Pump, and that is clean damage on the Slowbro, which is fine. Go for another Hydro Pump here. Almost take out the Slowbro as he goes for a Slack Off, and I just realized I just need this doggone Slowbro gone. So go for Hydro Pump one more time, almost knocked it out, but he gets off a Toxic, and that because Toxic is actually going to come back and bite me towards the end of the battle. So Slowbro is gone. He gets to go out into his Kyurem for free. I'm going to switch out and go into my Apoudon here as he goes for the Roost, which is fine. So now here I decide to go for the Whirlwind, I believe, and to go for a substitute. No, I went for Rocks first, then I went for the Whirlwind here. I knew I could take an Ice Beam, that's for sure. Unfortunately, I get frozen, but luckily for me, I fall off the same turn. I get the Whirlwind off, and unfortunately, he goes on to his Zoroark. I'm like, okay, that's fine. And I got my Rocks up, that's all I care about. So he takes me out with the Hidden Power Ice or Water, or whatever the two. So I go out into my Pidgeot here, and here I make a little bit of a miscalculation on my part, because I assumed that the Sand would take out the Zoroark on the next turn. So I decided to go for Roost in case he went for a Sucker Punch, which he actually ended up doing. But I Roost, and unfortunately the Sandstorm subsided. So there goes my strategy of getting off my Mega and getting off no damage. Well, minor chip damage of the Sand had lasted a little bit longer, but that's fine. Now I'm forced to attack the Zoroark because I need my Excadrill healthy for the Kyurem because I can take an Earth Power. And I need Excadrill because they can take a Focus Blast from a Mega Gardevoir. Mega Gardevoir dies to rocks anyway, so never mind. So forget that last part. So here he decides to go for a Sucker Punch, and he dies to Life Orb Recoil. So I was forced to attack. I didn't have a choice. He goes on to his Terrakion, revealing he is Choice Scarf Terrakion. Takes out my Mega Pidgeot. This allowed me to go out into my Keldeo here as he goes. I go for a Secret Sword with the Slowbro gone. He sacks off the Gardevoir just to scout what I was going to lock myself into. Goes on to his Rose Raid, but from this range, a Specs Keldeo Secret Sword takes it out. Then now I'm taking all his Toxic damage. Goes on to his Kyurem, which is fine. I decided to go out into my Excadrill because I needed my my Keldeo for the Terrakion. I think it goes for the Roost. Goes for the Earth Power here. I live. Unfortunately, gets a special defense drop. I get the Iron Head off here. That's a clean 2 at KO. I knew I could take at least one more Earth Power from the Kyurem, even though I'm at -1 special defense. I'm just going to keep on clicking Iron Head until he attacks me. He finally attacks me with the Earth Power. Live on 10%. Down goes the Kyurem. In comes the Terrakion one more time. He has no reason not to click Close Combat. It's his best play. So I sack off my Excadrill here, and now it comes down to a Terrakion versus Keldeo scenario. So I did the calcs prior to this turn. I had no reason not to click Secret Sword because he had -1 defense. Definitely takes him out. I know he's Choice Scarf. So I did the calcs prior to this, and I determined that a Jolly Scarf Terrakion Close Combat does 64 to 76% to my Keldeo. However, if he was Adamant Scarf Terrakion, it did a minimum of 74%. So the roll was more in his favor. So I didn't really have any choice here. It's 1v1. I click Secret Sword. If I live, I win. If I don't, I lose, obviously. So he goes for Close Combat, and he gets the roll. It turns out he was Adamant Choice Scarf, so the roll was more in his favor. So that is a 1-0 loss. To me, it was a very, very close battle nonetheless. Like I said, the Toxic damage did end up coming back to bite me because had I not stayed in that one extra turn, or if I had doubled predicting him to fodder off the Mega Gardevoir, I probably would have been in a better chance to live the Close Combat, but at the same time, that wasn't also a guarantee. So, nevertheless, it's a 1-0 loss. I'm now 2-4 heading into the last week of the NPO Minors. So, I will be back with week 7 of the season. So, alright, so here we are. This is the last week of the NPO Minors season. We are currently 2-4 at the time, and we pretty much are out of playoff contention, but we do play spoilers somewhat, depending on this match, as I am playing Carney Hobo, coach of the Vancouver Stealth Rocks, who is in playoff contention at the time of at the time that this battle happened. So basically the same thing as what happened with week 5, but in this case, instead of dealing with Sun, I have to deal with Rain in Politoed plus the Ludicolo. He also had other stuff like the Seismitoad, which had to take advantage of the rain as well. But as you see from the team I brought, Ludicolo under rain absolutely destroys this entire team. Like, if if Volcanion gets weakened or eliminated altogether, Ice Beam, goodbye. Hydro Pump, goodbye. Ice Beam, goodbye. Hydro Pump, goodbye. Ice Beam, goodbye. Literally, Ludicolo just clicks 2 moves against me, which is pretty sad. So I realized my only way to counteract this, once again, I had to bring Sand, or else he has free reign with rain. So so to run down the team briefly, we have, let's see, trying to remember. We have a Volcanion, bulky Shuckleberry Volcanion with Steam Eruption, Fire Blast, Toxic, and Hidden Power Ice for the Mega Sceptile, with enough speed to outspeed Seismitoad. I can get off a Toxic before it can Earth Power me. Next up, Assault Vest Shaman with Seed Flare, Dazzling Gleam, Earth Power, and Air Slash for the Heracross and the Mega Sceptile, but doesn't really matter either way. Especially defensive, Hippowdon, Stealth Rock, Slack Off, EQ, Whirlwind. A Choice Scarf, Mixed Dragonite with Outrage, Draco Meteor, Facade, and Tailwind. Offensive Excadrill. Offensive Mixed Excadrill with Earthquake, Rock Slide, Iron Head, and Hidden Power Ice for Mega Sceptile. And I believe he had Landorus. Yeah, he had Landorus T. It was for Landorus T. It wasn't for HP Hidden Power Ice 2 KOs Landorus T on the Switch. If I had Sand up, it definitely it took it out on the next Hidden Power Ice. And actually, I don't think I had Iron Head at all. I think I had Aerial Ace for the Sceptile and the Heracross. But I'm pretty sure it was Aerial Ace. And lastly, my Mega Pidgeot with Roost, Hurricane, Heat Wave, and Hyper Beam. So a bit of an error on my part, as I actually went into this battle with a 0 EV'd Excadrill with Life Orb. So it's not going to be, if it doesn't hit, if the I'm out of it right now. If the damage says one thing and the calc says another, it's because this Excadrill has no EVs. Basically, max attack, enough special attack to make sure Hidden Power Ice 2 KOs non-Yachi variant of Landorus Therian, and the speed to outspeed a Choice Scarf Jirachi in Sand, I believe it was. So yeah, that's pretty much the team as a whole. So as we start the battle here, I am going to lead off with my Shaman as he leads off with his Mega Sceptile. Goes for the Protect here as I go for Dazzling Gleam. Excuse me. So with that, he goes on into his Jirachi here. I didn't want him I wanted to bluff me being Assault Vest as much as possible. So I go on to my Hippowdon here as he gets up his rocks, which is fine. Does give me the opportunity to get up my own Stealth Rocks here as he switched out into his Politoed to get rid of my Sand. That's fine by me. So here I go into my Volcanion. Oh, I went to my Shaman first as he predicts me and go for the Ice Beam. Well, one Ice Weakness into another, doesn't matter. So he goes back into his Jirachi. I go for Seed Flare this time. Doesn't do much. Assuming this was specially defensive Jirachi. Go back into my Hippowdon here as he makes a double switch back into his Politoed. So it's a nice play on his part. So now I'm forced to go into my Volcanion this time as he goes for the Ice Beam. Doesn't do much. And here was a little bit of a crucial moment here as I get a crit burn on the Politoed as he goes for Toxic. So now he's on a timer here. He's forced to go into his Ludicolo here, going for another Steam Eruption. was because I got the crit burn on the Politoed. He was going to go for rest that turn, the turn after I hit him with the Steam Eruption, but knowing that his Politoed dies on re-entry means that I've essentially won the weather war, unfortunately, because of the crit burn. So he's forced to go into his Ludicolo earlier than he expected to take advantage of the rain as much as possible. So with that being said, I'm decided to switch out into my Shaman, because this is my Ludicolo switch and it goes for Giga Drain. So I think I just decided to stack this. Yeah, I stacked it off to the Ice Beam, and I go out into my Apollon here just to get back the sand, to get the sand back up, and I've essentially won the weather war. Now I go out into my Volcanion to sack this off to the Ludicolo, so then I can get a free switch into Excadrill. Actually, no, I think I went to Pidgeot first. No, I went to Excadrill first. Yeah, like I said, it's been a while. There goes the Aerial Ace, take out the Ludicolo. Now he goes on into his Mega Sceptile, that's fine. He goes for the Protect here to see what I'm going to do. Going for Aerial Ace one more time. So he's going to switch out into his Jirachi here. I believe I kept going for Aerial Ace. Doesn't do much, just defensive Jirachi. Taking unnecessary Life Orb recoil here. I'm not doing a good job predicting here. He sacks off the Politoed and goes out into his Umbreon. I make a switch into my Mega Pidgeot here just to see what he's going to do. He goes for a Foul Play. That's fine. I do get off a free Mega, and I get to go for a Hurricane pretty much almost for free for the most part. So get the Hurricane damage off, doesn't do much. I believe I went for a Heat Wave this turn. Yep, went for Heat Wave, doesn't almost take out the Jirachi. I had to go for the Wish. Sand is gone. He decides to hard switch into his Sceptile. I went for Heat Wave one more time. Now Sceptile's back up to full HP, and take out my pitch out with the Dragon Pulse. That's fine. So now I go out into my Salamence here. I do get a free Outrage here. I don't care that he goes into a Jirachi. So down goes the Jirachi to the Outrage. That's fine. Let's go out into a Sceptile here. I know he's going to protect to hope I get a 2-turn Outrage, and unfortunately for me, I do. That's fine. I'm going to stay in here, risk the 50-50 with the Confusion. I do break through and connect. Fortunately, I don't connect the second time, and he takes me out with the Stone Edge. So you also get some Moxie Boost. Go out into my Apollon here, get the Sand up. Seeing that he's choice locked here, by the way, he went for Stone Edge one more time, so I whirlwind into the Umbreon. I don't know if that was. I think that was a bad play on my part, but I don't know. Now he goes for the Dark Pulse here. I go for the Earthquake, just trying to wear this thing down as much as possible. So now he goes to Baton Pass out back into his Heracross. So EQ one more time. So from here, I believe, now that he went into his Heracross here, and he has to force himself into close combat. But my Hippowdon can take at least one close combat if he doesn't crit me. And even if he does crit me, I get a free switch into my Excadrill anyway, and I just click Aerial Ace 2 times for the most part. Because after Rock's damage, Umbreon does, I believe, goes down to an Earthquake. But do keep in mind, this Excadrill had no EVs. So it was pretty close. So he goes to the close combat here. He gets the crit, but I live. I believe that was a low roll, and I went for Slack off this turn. I should have attacked him head on, but that's just me. Close combat again. I go for the EQ, which takes out the Heracross. Now I don't need to say as much. Last Pokemon is Umbreon. He goes for the Dark Pulse. I live on 1%. I go for the Earthquake. Sandstorm subsides the following turn. Kills me with the Foul Play. That's fine. Sandstorm just lasts for one more turn. Go on to my Excadrill. I just click the Earthquake, and that is going to be game, unfortunately. So it was unfortunate because the like I said earlier, the crit burn on the Politoed definitely mattered because it essentially helped me win the war between Sand and Rain. He was forced to go into his Ludicolo a lot earlier than he expected because it did so much to my team. And the fact that I even got that crit in the first place was very unfortunate because I felt in my mind I didn't really deserve to win this battle, especially considering I didn't prepare enough for Ludicolo, as my only switch-ins was Volcanion and a Selfish Shaman, which unfortunately gets, I believe it gets 2 KO'd after like some prior damage, because this was an offensive speedy Shaman. It wasn't bulky. So yeah, so we finished the season 3 and 4 with a differential of -5. Unfortunately, that was not enough to make the playoffs, but considering I did win 3 of the 5 matches, I did play substituting in for StabX. It was a good experience. I'm not going to take away. I could take away something from being in the NPL Minors, and long story short, I will be back for season 3 of the NPL Minors as well. So just going to keep on looking to improve myself as a battler and team builder as a whole. As for the remainder of what's going to happen in the future, with Sun and Moon being roughly 2.5 weeks away, just to update you on other stuff, after the NPL Minors, there is my IBO Season 2 matches that happen. I was unable to upload them because my video recording unfortunately was acting up on me, and it was down for a while. I tried to get it fixed. Still a work in progress, but long story short, I did make the playoffs. Despite I only went 5 and 7, and I made the playoffs. I played my playoff match, and unfortunately, I lost. So that's pretty much IBL Season 2 in a nutshell. As for the future, there is going to be, obviously, when Sun and Moon kicks back up in November and around December, late December, early January, is going to be, of course, Season 2 of the NES. Trying to go back to the finals on that. My recording should be up and ready a lot sooner, hopefully. It should be up in the next. It should be ready in the next couple of days. So there's some hope for me to record matches again, which is nice. And also for Sun and Moon, I also plan to upload Pokemon Showdown lives, as I do main I love playing PU, is my main tier, and I love just showing off some crazy mons, different sets, all that sort of stuff. So I hope you guys are looking for that as much as I am. I hope you guys enjoyed these 3 battles, and I apologize that these are very, very late in uploading. So if you did enjoy all 3 of these battles, or any battle in particular, feel free to hit that like button. Feel free to subscribe, because this isn't the last time we're going to be seeing of the main red Clawitzers anytime soon. So again, hope you guys enjoyed, and until the next time, hope you guys enjoy your day or night wherever you are. And until the next time, my name is Anthony, aka Tone, and I'm gonna catch you guys on the flip side. Later.